Oh, hold on, I want to get out of this stuff.
Good morning. Good morning, guys. Can everyone hear me all right?
Morning.
Yes, good morning.
I can hear you, but I can't see you.
Yeah, no worries. And I'll put that up in a second here. Well, good morning. I know we've got Sherry on, Brianna, Jay.
Laura.
And Laura's on too. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, great. Now, are Laura and Sherry, I know you guys are working as a team. Are you both on the same Zoom?
Yeah, we're sitting next to each other in the same room, so yeah.
Perfect. Sounds good. Awesome. Well, I apologize. I was a few minutes late getting this going, but I promise we'll make this worth your time and get you guys off to a great start. So, again, I'm Doug. I'm the owner here of Strategic. I know some of you guys have interacted with Brianna, our onboarding leader. And really my whole purpose today, guys, is to add value for you and help you get off to a good start, right? So before we jump in, and we're going to cover lots of ground over the next about hour and a half, I just want to get to know you a little bit more. So why don't we start and tee it up kind of ladies first. If Sherry and Laura want to just share a little bit, maybe where you're from and anything that would be good to know, your background.
Yeah, this is Sherry. I'm originally from Boston. Been
Oh,
living
okay, great.
in Florida for, I don't know, 15, 16 years, something like that. I've been working with Eric, doing like administrative clerical work.
Uh-huh.
I don't know, probably 8 years with life, health, and annuities.
Right.
I have my license with that, and we're just trying to expand the business.
Love it. Sounds great. Okay, wonderful. How about you, Laura?
So basically, I'm a physical therapist assistant who lost her job. So doing that for over 20 years. And I'm just jump in and learn a little bit about the insurance field to work with Eric and Sherry and just try something different.
That sounds great. Are you from Florida originally, or where are you from?
Illinois originally.
Oh, okay.
Tennessee for a while, but I've been in Florida for a long time. So
yeah.
What part of Illinois are you from?
What'd you say?
What part of Illinois are you from?
Oh, outside of Chicago.
I'm from Lake Zurich.
I don't know where that is.
It's near like Schaumburg.
Oh, okay. Sure.
Small world.
I was gonna say, always a small world when you start asking some of these questions and building relationships. So that's great. I'm from Philadelphia originally. Been down here about 18 years. So Jay, how about you? Where are you from? And tell us kind of your anything where you're at in life. What interested you in doing this?
Sure. I was raised in Illinois.
Okay.
Chicago and Schaumburg.
Cool.
And lived in.
We're
Florida
outnumbered. Everybody, we're outnumbered right now. We got 3 Illinoisers fighting Illini.
Yeah. Been in Florida for about 5 years.
Cool.
I'm in the IT and restaurant industry for the past 15 years.
Mm-hmm.
So insurance is new to me, but I'm eager to learn and eager to grow.
Awesome. Well, that sounds great. Well,
What part of Florida, Jay?
I lived in Central Florida, Sebring, for about 2 years, and now I live in the St. Pete area.
Oh, cool. Okay, Jay, so you're pretty close to our office. Our office is in Clearwater, St. Pete. We're in Feather Sound. Where in St. Pete are you?
Yeah, I'm almost by Central Avenue and 66th Street in Central.
Kind of downtown, a little bit more downtown. Yeah. Awesome. Sounds good. Well, I'm going to share my screen here in a second, guys. And again, we're going to talk about a lot of things today. I want to just kind of give you the agenda and overview. And I also want to just tell you that everything we share with you today, you're going to get an email follow-up with all the attachments, all the materials. And you'll also get a copy of this meeting. So I'm recording this meeting to the cloud, and Brianna will send all this at the end. And so really just want you to kind of, listen, learn, take notes if you want, certainly, but make sure or understand, everything will come to you at the end. So, and then this is kind of our agenda for today. So we'll kind of do our welcome and overview. We'll get into that a little bit more. We're going to go through some SMART goal training. We'll talk about SMART goals. We'll talk about our kind of core values and commitment to excellence. That's kind of the first half of the meeting. And then the last half, I try to spend anywhere from at least 30 to 45 minutes and do a deep dive into marketing. So really, and I tell the team all the time, and I encourage you guys to think day one, just hitting the ground running in terms of building a pipeline, right? So I say your pipeline is your lifeline. And the great thing about our business is it's still very much relationship based, and you can really get going without spending a ton of money. You know, most of the ideas we'll share with you is not, hey, go spend a bunch of money in terms of buying leads and doing other things like that. And really my goal for all of you, and what we did to become one of the top 1% of agencies in the country, is create a referral-based model really driven by centers of influence. People like realtors, mortgage brokers, financial advisors, etc. So we'll do a deep dive into that. And then we'll talk about very next steps in terms of additional trainings that we're going to be offering for you all, kind of how to get plugged in, how to start running your first proposals, and how to start helping people and making money. So does that sound like a good deal for our agenda here?
Yep.
Okay, sounds great. All right, so I'm going to pull up now, again, just kind of what I call our welcome and overview. And you know, really what I want to do, frankly, is just reinforce a little bit about what you've already heard, okay? I want to unpack again what the opportunity is, how it works. We're going to unpack the commission structure. So again, hopefully you'll have a clear understanding of how commissions work, how you get paid, and all of that. So, you know, the first part I always just like to say is, again, congratulations on starting. You know, and I mean this, and I was thinking about this morning as I was doing my Bible study and kind of getting ready, is that this is one of my favorite meetings of my week, and I really mean that. I love encouraging and starting new people. There's something very exciting about that. I remember when I first got into the business. You know, I can remember going to my licensing class. I mean, that time we did it in person, and you're kind of, you know, trying to figure everything out. But you know there's opportunities to make money. I mean, we know we've seen people that have made a lot of money in insurance. And then really understanding there's a great opportunity to help a lot of people. So I give you guys a lot of credit. I say, look at this as a new adventure. Most people don't even put themselves out there and try. You know, that's the reality. And so you guys are well ahead of the game even on that. We talk again, and we did this in sort of the onboarding opportunity call, but I just, like I said, I like to reinforce, you know, one of my favorite sayings is a Jim Rohn saying, and that's repetition is the key to mastery, and sort of just reinforcing some of the things that we believe in and already share, but to really reinforce that is that, you know, we believe our opportunity here meets 5 things that pretty much everyone wants from their work life. You know, if we even just take insurance off the table, if we said, hey, if we could sort of design a perfect or an ideal perfect, there's no such thing as perfect, but if we could design a little bit of an ideal opportunity, what would that look like? So number 1 is having that freedom and flexibility in your work-life balance, which you guys have. This is work on your time frame, work early, work late, work weekends, don't work weekends, etc. Number 2, opportunity to build financial independence for yourself and your family. Again, I had a mentor tell me one time in the insurance business, it's a great industry. You can go from the poorhouse to the penthouse, and that is certainly very true. Number 3, working in a business that really impacts the lives of others. You know, again, you get to be in an industry where on the front end, you're getting to help people and talk to them about their budget, and people budget quite a bit of money for quite a bit amount of their budget for insurance. A lot of times we can help them save money, which is a win. And then on the back end, if they have a claim or a challenge or a problem, you're part of a team that helps with that. And again, you guys aren't having to do that heavy lift. We have a great, what I call core team here to help with that. 4, be part of a winning team. And then 5, build that passive income stream. And again, that's huge. We're attracting a lot of people from all walks of life, some with insurance experience, some with not. And one of the biggest things that people like is you've got an opportunity to start to build what we call a book of business, where you start bringing clients on board. You not only get paid a new business commission, but a renewal commission. So kind of going over that, digging a little bit deeper. Again, unlimited income opportunity, no employees. Can't stress this enough, guys. This is a big one. You don't have to deal with employees, but you have the benefits of employees, right? So we've got a core team of about 17, and you access that. You have the ability to leverage all of that. Very minimal overhead, offering a product that people need, not just want. Again, working your time frame, we talked about opportunity to help others and opportunity to build a team. So I really encourage you guys. I'm so big on mindset. We do a lot in that space in terms of professional development, mindset, thoughts. It's so critical, especially in sales. And I really encourage you to sort of almost re-engage yourself of, okay, why am I doing this, right? And I promise you at some point you'll question it. You'll say, well, what am I doing? Is this class or this or that? You know, you're going to kind of go through this, you know, what I call roller coaster a little bit. And that happens with everybody in almost anything that's worthwhile in life. But I would encourage you just to try and re-engage with some of these core principles, if you will. I want to talk about, again, how do you earn earn commission dollars here. And so to be clear, this is commission only. And obviously, Lori and Sherry, you're already very familiar with Eric's practice and sort of how that works. So in our world, the property and casualty world, which is what we do the most of, I also want to be clear, and especially for Sherry and Laura and Jay, just good for you to know too, that we are a multi-line agency. So we do life and health insurance as well. So if there are access points or you guys want to do that side of the business with us as well, you certainly can. The lion's share of what we do is property and casualty. And when we say property and casualty, we're talking about things like home, auto, boat, rental properties, vacant land, anything that really a family would need. And then we do a lot of business insurance. Now, business insurance is dealing with commercial businesses, commercial clients, and their needs, right? The license you all are getting, and what we're really teaching people to start, is that personal lines license, right? And in my opinion, it's the best place to start. And it's where I started, frankly, in some ways. That allows you to do home, auto, boat, flood, umbrella, rental. Again, it allows you to do quite a bit. And it's not as hard of a license to get as the commercial. So on average, remember, everything flows through the agency. If you want to look at us as sort of the network, the community, if you will, everything flows through us. We do first year 50% commission split. So whatever the gross commissions are, we give you 50%. Now you can tier up as high as 70 based on production. All this is already outlined in the advisor agreement, but we start at 50 and then year 2 at 25 and each year following. So we just try and frame it with a simple way of saying, look, if you help 10 families a month based on averages with their home and 2 cars, your first year you'll do about 41,000. Okay, if you did 10 families a month, just to sort of frame and say, well, what does this look like? What do I have to do? Obviously, if you do less, cut that number down. If you do more, that number would increase. And then in year 2, you would start with average renewal commissions of about 19,000. That means year 2, if based on about a 90% retention rate, and our retention is actually a little bit higher than that, but we try to be just very realistic with our numbers. You would start off with about 19,000 in renewal commissions. Again, if we help 10 families a month, in year 2, we're now at about 60,000. If we continue this trend on in year 5, we hit at about 6 figures, at about 100,000. Again, some people certainly can do that quicker. Some people may not hit that number, right? Just trying to frame that a little bit. And then the second thing we always highlight is if you want to build a team, if you want to bring people on, you can. And again, this is not multi-level marketing. This is not, A to B, B to C, C to D, et cetera. But what we're just basically doing is saying, if you want to bring anyone, what I call on your direct team, okay, A to B, if you will, and you can have as many Bs as you want, you can earn a commission override on them. And then we've got some guidelines on that. We want to make sure you're up and running. You understand what you're doing basically before you're helping sort of teach other people as well. But the idea is you can earn commission override on what they do. So we talk about that and that power of building a team. So just wanted to hit the pause button there. Any questions on that so far? Because I know this is a really critical kind of concept. No? Really good? Okay, great.
The renewals continue year after year. I mean, as long as it's just not a 1-year renewal, it's as long as they're with that policy, right? And it's
correct. And is that Eric or is that Jay?
No, that's Eric here in the background.
Okay, cool. Well, good morning, Eric. Good to see you as well. Yes, no, absolutely, Eric. That's the whole concept. So that 25% renewal commission is for the life that client is with you. So as long as they're with you, you're getting that. And again, one of the core and key concepts to understand is we're handling the renewals, we're handling rewrites, uprates, service work, claims, coverage questions, et cetera, right? So you've got a team in place to manage and maintain that book so you can continue to pursue new business, right?
Doug, I just had a client. I was just calling she was calling me to confirm our appointment this afternoon. She just happened to say, I'm meeting with my agent this afternoon to quote my homeowner's policy. And I said, who's that? She said, Allstate. And I said, well, we might be able to quote that as well. I said, when does your policy renew? She said, next month. So with Allstate, do we know, is that an area that we can usually?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, Allstate traditionally, Eric, and again, part of where we'll also add value to you guys, and I want you to also understand this. This is not your only training and, hey, you're booted off and like, good luck. And again, I know, Eric, you can come from the insurance background, and Jay, maybe you can even relate, or frankly, any of you guys. I find training in most businesses is lacking, and a lot of it is trial by fire and learning on the job, right? It's like, here you go, figure it out. We try to take a different approach. I'm not telling you we have it all figured out, but we try to take a different approach and really hold your hand providing you lots of opportunities to plug in. Every Monday at 10:30, we do training calls. I do those calls myself. And then every Thursday at 2 p.m. And my calls, by the way, are more focused kind of sales, marketing, a little bit of motivation, and some how-to insurance, right? And then every Thursday at 2 p.m., Leanne, who's my personal lines trainer, does live proposal training. So you want to bring proposals, deck pages, etc., and she's going to walk through chapter and verse, how to quote home, how to quote auto. Where I'm going with it, as part of your training, you're going to certainly learn a lot about the marketplace. You're going to learn who's competitive and what areas they're competitive, etc. I will tell you this, and look, I respect all of these carriers. I mean, Allstate is a huge company, obviously. They are not a major player in homeowners insurance. And in fact, what they do, Eric, is they have the ability to do a little bit of an independent model. They don't have all the carriers we do, but it's very unlikely, I'll put it this way, that when she goes to that agent, she's going to get a quote from Allstate, right? She may get a quote from someone else. So,
Right.
But from a lead gen standpoint, it's all about, you know, creating that pipeline and getting people interested. We find, and again, we'll give you some great value adds in our marketing section of how to have conversations with people on that, and even some incentives for them that we offer in terms of a gift card that we pay for it, that the agency level, if you will. Look, we find most people are certainly willing to take a look, especially if they can save some money, right? So this slide, just a little bit again about us, you know, high level, we've won awards nationally, we've won awards locally, about 5,000 clients, about 12 million in premium, core team of 18 or so. All in, we've got about 65 people on this kind of journey, just like you all are on, and that could be they're just starting or they're fully licensed somewhere along the way. And we've got over 200 5-star reviews. Again, I don't say any of that from an arrogant standpoint. I say it from a credibility standpoint. And for you all, it's a great way as you're starting out to have something you're plugging into bigger than just yourself. So we're going to kind of segue here a little bit, and we'll go to the next part really of goal planning. So I'm a big fan of Napoleon Hill, Think and Grow Rich. Anybody on the call ever read that book, heard of that book, Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill?
Yep.
Yeah. And Eric, we may have talked about that. Depending on how long ago you read it, great book. I also really recommend, and you guys will get additional email training from me that kind of comes out weekly and different things, but he's got a great thought of the day. Always recommend people to sign up for that. Really, really good. But basically, so those of you that may not know Napoleon Hill, he wrote a book in 1937 called Think and Grow Rich. He spent about 20 years interviewing and researching some of the wealthiest people that ever lived. And we're talking names like Henry Ford, J.P. Morgan, John Rockefeller, Thomas Edison, Clark Kellogg, the cereal guy, and really asking, what did you do to become healthy, wealthy, and prosperous? And he wrote that book. And to this day, it's one of the best-selling books of all time. It's got on Amazon here, it's got over 18,000 5-star reviews. And it's really quite a book in terms of thought, motivation, and a big book in terms of sales. And so really where I use this, and we'll jump into it in our next kind of part, is a lot of what he talks about is goals and goal planning, okay? And so he basically says, look, you want financial success, 6 things you have to do. 1, you got to have a specific goal. 2, you got to have a time frame to achieve that goal. 3, you got to write that goal down. 4, you've got to develop what we call an action plan to achieve that goal. 5, think about the price you're willing to pay to get there. And then really dwelling or thinking about that goal every day. Those are kind of his 6 steps of financial success. So with that being said, we're going to kind of jump into SMART goals. So, and again, I want to try and make it interactive, hopefully keep you guys engaged here. I just curious, how many of you guys have ever done any formal goal planning in the past? Like written down defined goals? Anybody? Yes, no, maybe so. And if you haven't, that's okay. So I'm still your friend. I still like you. You still can do the side hustle and everything. So here's, and I always just like to share kind of my story a little bit. So, and Eric, you know, like you, I've been in the insurance financial services business for quite some time. And I worked for a guy when I was in my 20s who was really big into this stuff. You know, professional development, mindset, Zig Ziglar, Brian Tracy, Napoleon Hill, et cetera. And heard a lot about goals and goal planning. And I'll be honest, at that time, I kind of rolled my eyes. And you may be doing that right now. I don't know. Frankly, I can't see any of you because you're all on mute, which is fine. But you may be. Again, I'm honest. I'm pretty calm as it is. I know people, right? maybe like, well, what's this guy talking about? Can you show me how I can quote home and auto and kind of get rolling up? Again, we really believe that we want to kind of create a different model, and with the training here, really kind of start ground zero, if you will. And so here's, again, in my story a little bit, kind of heard this stuff for a while, rolled my eyes, like, hey, I've already been to college. I don't want to read much anymore. I really don't want to think about this. Like, I don't want a homework assignment, if you will. And so that was just my attitude for several years, frankly. And then, I don't know, like a lot of things in life, it kind of clicked, and I started doing it. And I really probably started doing this in earnest about, I'd say about 10, 11 years ago. I was maybe 2 years into the start of the business. And I will tell you this, guys, I saw a direct increase in my income and the growth of this agency when I started doing this and taking it seriously. And so my encouragement to you is join the 3% club. Okay. And so the 3% club is this. Here's what I call it, that Harvard Business Review did a huge study on goals and success. And again, we kind of framed it a little bit with Napoleon Hill back to the 30s, right? Interviewed all these people, these very wealthy people, a lot of names we still know today, JP Morgan, John Rockefeller, et cetera, and said, what's your secret kind of? What'd you do? How'd you do it? Goals was a big theme of it. Well, Harvard Business Review did a study in the 80s, and it was like a 20-year study, and they followed people throughout their whole life. And what they found was the 3% that were the top income earners had written defined goals, right? So we encourage you to do that. And we're going to talk about SMART goals. So SMART goals really breaks goal planning down to even a little bit of a deeper level. And again, I've done all kinds of different goal planning and different models, and you can find, look, if you Google this, you can find a ton of stuff on there. You're going to get this sheet at the end. I like it because it's simple and easy to use, right? I like things that are just kind of easy and practical to use. And the idea with a SMART goal, that is an acronym that stands for specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, and time sensitive. So if we think about a goal and we're trying to break it down, I kind of give people a classic example, and you probably heard this at the beginning of the year. And maybe you've even said this yourself. I want to lose weight. Y'all ever heard that or ever thought that? Anybody on? Yes?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Oh, yeah, right? Okay, especially the beginning of the year. You want to go and see the gym packed, it's like the second week of January. Now go back like 3 months later, and this is all pre-COVID, not as packed. But here's my point. So a lot of people say that, right? Well, if we sort of run it through this model, that's not a SMART goal. Not a bad idea, but not a SMART goal. Now, if I said to you, Sherry and Laura and Jay and Eric and everybody, Doug, want to lose 7 pounds by September 1st, 2020. That's a SMART goal. It's specific and detailed. I can measure it. The number's realistic, relevant to me, and it's time sensitive. Okay. So, and what I teach people when we talk about goal planning, a couple things, guys. The bookends, in my opinion, are the most important. The specific and the time sensitive are the most important, okay? And so my encouragement to you, and you'll see it in the follow-up email, is I would love to see you create 3 to 5 SMART goals for your business. This is your business now. I want you to think like that. This is your business in our business, right? Again, you put it another way, you're in business for yourself, but not by yourself. Think like a business person. Think like an entrepreneur. And we're going to hear more about that and encourage you on that and think along those lines. Now, you may say, well, I don't even know what to make as SMART goals for this, Doug. Well, you're going to help me out. Well, I'll give you some ideas. Some of it could be surrounding your premium that you want to write, the income that you want to earn. And then if we even kind of back into it a little bit further, thinking about some of the marketing activities you want to do to start generating the leads to get to the income that you want to earn, right? Those are all very good ones. Again, and I know a lot of you guys are in licensing. Probably at the top of that list would be getting your license, right? So if we said, we're doing a goal plan for Jay here, and we said, goal 1, I want to have my personal lines license by July 1st, 2020, right? That would be a SMART goal, no doubt, okay? So I really encourage you to do 3 to 5 of these. I'd also encourage you to do them personally, right? And here's what I mean by that. So personal goals. And again, I know and I love, look, my goal, I want to create more husband and wife teams and all that. There's a lot of dynamics that are powerful there. So you got Eric and Laura here. So you guys can have some different conversations personally, obviously, but Sherry and Jay, whoever is in your life, spouse, boyfriend, girlfriend, mom, dad, brother, sister, friend, whomever, I'd encourage you to have some personal goals and maybe something to share with them. I always tell people this too, and we'll even give you a little incentive that you'll see in the email. Make sure to read for it. I give you a little incentive to get some of the goals back to me within a time frame, just to incentivize you to do it. If you don't do it, again, we're still friends. You're still on the team. It's still A-okay. My job here, is to try and be that leader and that coach. I'm going to kind of point you in the direction. I'm going to try and encourage you. If you do it, great. If not, that's okay. That's on you, right? Where I'm going with the personal goals is there's certainly this idea, and I think you can make the case, guys, more than ever before, where our lives are like this, right? Our business and personal lives are like this, and especially so many people working from home. So, and again, if you don't want to share the personal goals with me, that's fine. I would absolutely share the business goals though. And again, from an accountability standpoint. And so, and I always just like to highlight here again, kind of not the chef that eats his own food. This is something I do at the beginning of every year, guys, right? So here are some of my business goals for this year. If you scroll down, I've got some of my personal goals as well, exercise, devotionals and prayer time with my family, vacations, different things like that. And then the last part on the goal planning that I really encourage is not only, when we talk about this 3% club, right? If we just take a big step back and we say, there's a lot of people out there that if we said, who doesn't want to make money and be successful and things like that. I mean, that's kind of an inherent trait for a lot of us. But again, a lot of people don't put pen to paper on this. They certainly don't necessarily take the time to put it in this kind of a detailed format. But then even ramping it up a higher level is putting it in a place where you can look at it and look at it frequently. Okay. And again, I'd encourage Eric, a lot of this can apply to you with your financial practice, your financial services practice. I mean,
absolutely.
So much relevance here. This is good stuff, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, here's where I'm going with it. And what I've done personally, again, guys, is I have this printed and then I have it on like a little clear sleeve sheet protector dealing like this. And it literally sits in my drawer by my nightstand. And it's something I can see daily. And again, I don't spend, hours every day going over this, but you think about it, we can read pretty quickly and I can look at my goals and say, okay, that's right. I want to hire so many producers. I want to produce so much personally. I want to do so much planning. I want to do another book. I want to do this. I want to continue to pay down debt and be a steward of my resources. It's powerful to have that written down and see it frequently, because one of the other big ideas that Napoleon Hill specifically talks about in his book is the power of autosuggestion. And, more recently, there's been books like The Secret and other things like this. I mean, they take a lot of these principles that have been around a long time and they're just repackaging them for a new generation. But just that idea that your brain is a really phenomenal invention by God, if you will. And you start putting things in and just start seeing it and reading it and listening to it, and your mind starts to work on solutions for it. So part of it is just putting it in front of you. And this is just the platform to do that. So really encourage you guys on this. Any questions on this? Thoughts, comments on goals, goal planning?
No.
No.
No? Okay. Awesome. Well, we'll keep running here, guys. So, I always like to just spend a few minutes, and you all sign this, but I always just like to spend a few minutes on some of our core values. I think it's important for you to know who we are, what we stand for, and things that I expect of you, right? There's very little things that you would do that would cause me to say we're no longer working together at some level. Some of them would be violating these, and especially if we hit like a big integrity issue, right? Jeopardizing our clients, yourself, your license, our agency license, et cetera. So we have 3 core values of the agency, guys. It's excellence, integrity, and service, right? And, just in terms of unpacking these, kind of always starting with integrity, doing the right thing always, Claudia being honest and having strong moral principles. So, we've worked hard to build the brand, build what we've done, the reputation, et cetera. You guys are an extension of that. And as I bring more and more team members on, there's a risk there. I don't know you that well. You're still getting to know me. I'm still getting to know you now. And that's one of the reasons why we do at least do a background check, et cetera. And I really believe in people, and I believe in trying to bring more people in to help build them up, help you earn great income, and know that it's ultimately going to help this agency grow. But here's where I'm going with it, is just thinking through, you know, I saw something the other night that said, you know, if you would be embarrassed to tell your mom about X, you shouldn't do it, right? Now, I've got 3 kids under 6. We're constantly teaching and training, and right? But I think it's a pretty darn good lifelong principle. If you're kind of questioning, hey, if mom saw this, what would mom think, right? And really what I want to stress here is probably the handling of money. That can be credit cards, checking information from your clients, and or any level of signing, right? The client always needs to sign. We never sign on behalf. Again, our service team, frankly, is here to do a lot of that for you, send out applications, etc. Really just want to highlight those things. The other thing, and this literally happened to me yesterday, you know, I still produce. I still actively produce business, mostly on the commercial side, not on the personal side as much. But, you know, I was on my way to an appointment yesterday. I'm working on a client, commercial client. We sent a proposal. Yeah, it's great. We want to do it. So he calls me and gives me the credit card. Well, you got to write it down. You got to put it somewhere to do that. I get that. But then when I got back to my office, I put it in my shred bin. So here's where I'm going with it, is just that idea. And I know, you know, a lot of people are remote and working from home. That's great. That's part of the model, is you get client sensitive information. Be mindful of that. You know, deleting emails if it's in an email. You know, if you have to write it down, making sure if you have a shredder at home, shredding it. If not, you know, ripping in a lot of little pieces. Just being mindful of those things, guys, right? So from the excellence standpoint, we just talk about giving your best in all situations, commitment to being the best, delivering the best from a sales and service perspective. And, you know, again, Eric, I love that you guys are interested in coming on board, and you've obviously had a lot of success in the financial services. That says a lot, right? So you've obviously been a guy that clearly, I'm going to just go out on a limb and say demonstrates a lot of these qualities already, and probably just naturally doing these things for your clients. But again, we just want to always encourage, right? We're big on that. I kind of talk about, you know, the idea that the best professional athletes in the world spend more time practicing than they do playing. This is kind of where we talk about these things, right? Kind of the blocking and tackling, if you will, just encouraging guys to learn, working hard, learning from mistakes, being positive, and asking questions when you don't know the answer. And I think this is huge starting off. And I can't encourage you guys enough to, and I give you permission. This is critical. If you don't take much out of this meeting, I hope you really take the goal and the goal planning out. But really hear me here is that, guys, if you don't know the answer, I want you to ask. And you've got a team here to support you at strategic. But what you also have that I like about the business, frankly, is you have a carrier on the other side that is also there to help. So it may be you get to a spot and you're not sure about an auto question with Progressive, and you may be not able to get Leanne on my team. I get that. And I could have a team of Leannes and they could all be busy. Well, you can call Progressive directly. You can call the carrier directly. You can get on the phone with underwriting, get on the phone with service. So I encourage you guys to do that, seeking that info. You're empowered on that. Then the last thing is just service. Again, talking about treating people as they want to be treated, right? It's just a critical concept. I think the best businesses at any level try and do this. And some of this, guys, I really encourage, and we'll talk about fact finders and some other training. So we've got a process, and the fact finder, for those that don't know, is a process where you can go to gather the information that you need to run the proposal, right? And especially important as you're starting out and saying, well, geez, I don't even know, like, what do I need to do a quote, Doug? What do I need to run an auto proposal? Well, glad you asked. I mean, we've got a spot on our website, and it's a little Google form, and you can fill it out and walk through the questions with your clients, and then you've gathered everything you need. One of the questions we even put on there for you is asking your client, what's the best way to communicate with you? Now, I don't know about you guys, and I'm, you know, a busy business owner. I have 3 kids under 6. I'm involved in the community and church and this, that, and I'm blowing and going in a lot of directions. If you ask me that, I may say text. There may be a lot of people that may say, you know, my preferred communication is text. There may be other people that say, don't text me, I want to call, right? Some people may say, email me. You know, just little things like that, planting that seed up front, asking that, right? We find is just all those little things go a long way. And then we really spend a big focus on educating our clients. You know, I love, you know, not that I'm a huge Dave Ramsey fan. I like some of his concepts. But one of the things I like that Dave Ramsey says is that, you know, have that heart of a teacher. And that's my goal for you guys is, you know, we're really going to work with you and teach you in terms of insurance and risk management and being an educator, having that heart of a teacher, not just being a price quoter. Don't get me wrong, we want to start there so we can kind of level the playing field and do apples to apples, right? But then we will also want to teach you and say, you know what? There's clients that you're going to want to recommend an umbrella for based on their assets. There's clients that may come to you with lower levels of liability insurance and they don't even understand it because no one's explained it to them. They don't even know, they don't know what they don't know, right? I can't tell you over 18 years of doing this, guys, how many people I meet like that. Successful, educated people, they just don't know what they don't know. So again, kind of that educating our clients is really big. And then the last thing I'd probably highlight here under the service, and again, this is a great model that you can really employ in any part of your life, whether that's your business, financial services, or Jay, kind of in this IT restaurant space that you may have been in. And by the way, Jay, I think there's huge applications, and we see people with sort of a hospitality background that do very well on our side of the house because, again, they understand at some level that service and that service model. Where I'm going with it is this concept of LEAR, and this is listen, empathize, ask, and resolve. And you do this in anything. You can do this, again, you know, Eric and Laura, you guys can do this in communication together. You know, you'll be working with myself and my kids. It's a good model as you're thinking through whatever the scenario or situation is. You can listen, you should listen, empathize, meet that client where they're at, right? Have that heart, ask, and then resolve. And then going on to, hey, here's what we can do. Here's how we can fix it. Here's how we can solve it. Here's whatever that is. And in fact, we do, it's important for you all to know, the training we do with our core team, our service team, we call clients for life training. Because we want our clients for life. You want your clients for life. And this is some of the training they get that we do week in and week out with our core team and talking about concepts like this LEAR, listen, empathize, ask, and resolve. So questions, comments on this? Pretty basic. Good. Yes, no?
Good. Good.
Guys still with me? All right. You're making it easy on me so far, guys. All right, so again, if we just look where we're at so far, we kind of did the welcome and overview. One thing I didn't mention in the welcome and overview, I think I skipped over the slide, but I like to talk about a 3M focus. And again, just encouraging you guys thinking about this. 3M focus is wanting you to be able to make an impact, and first in the lives of your clients and prospects, then in your life personally, knowing that the more you do, the more income you can make. And that's the first M. The second is making money. Then the third is making fun. You know, and so again, just as you're going through what you're doing here, I encourage you thinking about those things. So kind of did the welcome and overview, went through the SMART goals, and then we talked about our commitment to excellence here, kind of our, you know, our core values a little bit. So now we're going to spend the last part of the meeting, and again, we'll do maybe 30, 45 minutes here on marketing. And so, you know, again, I always just like to share kind of stories or background on me a little bit too. So, you know, I started the agency when I was 26. I spent 2.5 years at State Farm. Again, I started right out of college. So I was like, you know, 22, 23 when I was at State Farm. I was there for 2.5 years, started the agency. And when I started the agency, I really started with 2 basic ideas. And I stand by these ideas and I encourage you guys to think about them, okay? I said to myself this, I said, if I can take care of clients, and I can generate leads, I'll figure everything else out. It was that simple for me. That was my mindset. If I can take care of clients and I can generate leads, I'll figure everything else out. And again, as you guys are getting going, that's a good core concept, right? If you can take good care of people, again, on the front end, you don't have nearly as much responsibility on the back end. It's really on the front end. And generate leads, you're going to figure everything else out. And yeah, there's going to be stumbling blocks. And I want to tell you that up front. You're just going to have times you're going to be frustrated. You're going to say, I don't understand this. Or, you know, I thought I was going to get a client, I didn't. Or, you know, I got to the finish line, Doug, and the client said he didn't have any tickets or accidents. And I went to finalize it, and the rate went up, and he didn't go with me. Welcome to life. You know, welcome to growth. Those things are going to happen. You're going to get stuck somewhere. I've been doing this a lot longer than you have. I get stuck, okay? That's, again, where mindset comes in. So important, so critical. But again, thinking of those 2 core things. So, and, you know, over the years, yeah, a lot of stuff to figure out, certainly, but just that concept of being able to think about generating leads. I don't care what business we're in. I don't care if we're financial services. I don't care if we're restaurants. I don't care if we're IT. if we're selling homes, I don't care if we're more, it doesn't matter. This is kind of the cool thought of marketing. It all comes back to creating a pipeline. Now there's lots of ways to do it. And that's also what can be kind of fun. And we're going to share a lot of ideas with you today. And some of them may really resonate with you. And others you may be like, oh, no way am I doing that. You know, some of you may say, I do not want to be an online person. I'm not a Facebooker. I'm not an Instagrammer. I'm not a social media person. Okay. And some of you may say, no, I'm not a networker. I don't want to go meet people. I don't want to go to meetings and talk with realtors. Okay. You know, we're going to try and share a lot of different ideas with you to help you create that pipeline. What I will tell you is this, and one of the things people ask me all the time is like, well, why do some people succeed and others don't? Great question, by the way, as you're thinking. And I will tell you this, not all make it. Not all are going to be here a year from now, 5 years from now, etc. That's life. That probably doesn't shock you if you think about it. The ones, frankly, that make it, I find a few things. One, they're very persistent. They've got a lot of staying power. And two, they take action. Those are the big things. They're persistent and they take action. And honestly, in your mind, those are other things you got to think about now. You got to say, I'm going to be persistent. I'm going to take action. Because if you don't, you're not going to do it. That's the reality. This is not just going to fall in your lap on that note. So with that being said, and kind of thinking through the marketing and lead generation part, that's why this meeting to me is critical. That's why I make it a requirement. It's not like, it's not a non-negotiable when people come on. It's not like, oh yeah, no, it's great, I don't want to do it. No, this is part of it, right? And so this piece that we're going to walk through a little bit here, guys, is done by Infusionsoft. So Infusionsoft is a digital marketing company. They've given us the express consent to sort of repurpose this, if you will. And they've got a concept called life cycle marketing. Now, hear me, they're not an insurance company, carrier, agency. They don't have anything to do with insurance. They're a digital marketing company. They have a platform and software that, does different things. But what I really like about this piece is, the starting point says 3 basic things. You got to be able to track, you got to be able to sell, you got to be able to wow. Again, if we just break things down, stupid simple, and we say, what does any business that's got ongoing clients have to do? They have to be able to track, sell, and wow. Really, very, very simple, but not easy, right? And again, Eric, I'm sure if we asked you and thinking your practice and your growth over the years and what that looked like, again, simple, not easy. Yep, those are the 3 basic things. Safe point, right? We're not going to spend a ton of time on the wow. And frankly, a lot of the wow is part of the value we're adding to you that's built in. And when I say the wow, that's, we do 18 to 22 touch points a year with all of the clients. Your clients are my clients. They're going to get postcards. They're going to get birthday phone calls. They're going to get emails on July 4th. They're going to get all sorts of stuff from us throughout the year. Not just email, by the way. Okay. In terms of retention and creating what we call a sticky relationship. And we try to be very proactive, not reactive as an agency. Okay. And even on the very, very front end, we have some built-in prospecting follow-up that as soon as you enter in a client into the system to start prospecting, I want you to know your back end is covered and we have some touch points that go out to these clients. Now, these are just emails on the very front end, hear me, of just touching base. And we try to do it in a way that supports you, doesn't step on toes, but to keep you in front of the client. Because you're going to get to a point, hopefully, where you're going to be busy. And in the beginning can be, oh, yeah, I've got a handful of proposals. But, think about if you had 10, 15, 20, 30 proposals you're juggling. The systems become crucial, okay? So a lot of that's kind of done for you. So really the attract part is what we're going to spend a little bit of time on today. And so, again, when you guys get this, I'm going to tell you, this, again, is another kind of one of these encouragement. If you do it, I encourage you to do it. If you don't do it, that's on you. You're still working with us. I'm still your friend, etc. This is a 33-page document. We're not going through all 33 pages right now. Frankly, we're just going to hit a few core concepts. And I'm going to share some of the value adds that we offer to our clients that you can share right out of the gate. But what I would tell you is if you really want to be good and do this and do it seriously, I'd spend some time thinking through it and working through it. And one of the things I like about the document is it gives you some ideas and then it gives you some work to do, right? It kind of walks you through, okay, who are my ideal clients? What are their pain points? Why should they buy from me? Those are things we're going to talk about a little bit right now, right? And again, huge application, in my opinion here, Eric. I hope anything we do adds value, certainly for your business, for your core business of financial services. This is just This is good, basic stuff, right?
Right.
But so I'd really encourage you guys on that. So one of the things we're going to kind of jump into now, and I like this page. I like pictures. I don't know anybody else like pictures. I like pictures. A lot of people think in pictures. It's funny why, you know, whether you're 4, my son Asher's 4, and we watch him like cartoons, or you're 40 and I'm 40, and like, you know, Superman or Batman or whatever, you know, it's that picture and that story. And on that note, by the way, I encourage you guys, and frankly, I will tell you this, what we do on home and auto is a lot easier than financial services. Hands down, no doubt. The bar's not nearly as high. The trust level is not nearly as much. You can make a lot of money in this business just running enough proposals because you're going to stumble across people that you save people money and they're going to go with you. I don't say that to say it disrespectfully to what we do. If anything, hopefully is an encouragement. Where I'm going with it is if you want to do things like increase your closing ratio and become more efficient, you'll learn to become a better professional. And some of that is the questions you ask and the ideas you share with people. And some of that can even be stories that you pass on, right? Because a lot, again, that's a lot the way a lot of people think. So we're going to talk a little bit now about your target client, okay? I'm going to kind of give it to you guys. I'm going to kind of break this down. I'm going to kind of give it to you. And then I'm also going to encourage you after you've digested a little bit. What I also like about our business is because everyone needs it, you've got lots of opportunities if you want to try and get into niches to do that. So this target client little graphic here kind of breaks clients down into 2 main areas. It talks about demographics and it talks about psychographics. And demographics says the average characteristics of your market, you know, kind of what I call, you know, name, rank, serial number, right? Kind of like the military. And then psychographics is what motivates them to take action. By the way, in my opinion, this second part is way more important than the first part, okay? And part of what I encourage you to do, and again, hopefully if you get any sort of writer downers out of our meeting in time today, this would be a good one. And this is one that changed my thinking a few years ago. I've been a big student of marketing for the last, I don't know, let's call it 5-7 years, because it all starts with marketing. And again, when we say marketing, we're talking about how to generate leads. There's a concept that says you want to enter in the conversation going on in someone's mind, right? Again, right now, that's why I try to be honest in the beginning where we're doing that goal planning stuff. I'm like, some of you may be rolling your eyes because I know some of you may. You follow me? Trying to enter in that conversation that you know is already going on in your client's mind. You want to be able to do that with your clients, understanding what motivates them to take action and knowing there's a range of things, right? And we know there's some common themes. If I were to say, well, what's a common theme? Price and service. We just really break it down. It's very simple. Price and service. That's big. Yeah. Nobody wants to pay more on insurance, especially. But what I will also say is, and I don't know about you guys in the stage you're at in life, think about this, and I'm not just talking about insurance, but this is a pretty common concept. There are times where I'm willing to pay more because the service is better. Can anyone relate to that, just as a basic concept?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Of course.
Right? Think about it, and I don't know, I know you all are over on the Space Coast. I don't know what kind of a high-end restaurant is, but you know, here in Tampa, Burns is world famous, largest wine collection in the world. And, you know, when the presidents come to town, they eat at Burns and all that. You can go to Burns and drop $500 like that for 2 people. No problem. Pretty easy. And at the end of the day, what are we talking? Steak, potatoes, and some sides. Well, I could get that at Longhorn for, you know, let's say $50. But there's a segment of people that are willing to pay that $500 for that experience, for that service. Yeah. So again, just very early on, I want you to think through some of those things. So guys, if we talk about target market, again, and you can go with this in a lot of different areas, but what I would tell you, in my opinion, doing this a long time, and I'm talking personal lines, if we said target client, they're probably 25 to say 60. You may want to write some of this down if you want. They're probably 25 to 60. They could be either gender, male or female. I would prefer married. I would prefer kids. I would say income probably $50,000 and higher. Education doesn't matter. Could be educated, could not be. Okay. And when I say educated, guys, by the way, we're talking like college education. Okay. But let me just take a minute and pause. Why do you think I would specifically want married with kids? in terms of marketing. Any thoughts?
Bigger house, more cars. Yeah.
There you go. Here's the reality, and you guys know this. You know, whether you think about it actively like we're doing right now, but probably subconsciously, as you kind of climb the ladder of life, right, and you have more responsibility, you have more stuff that needs to be protected. At the end of the day, we're in the protection business. This is what we do. So if I have, and we even go way back, if you think, we try to be very systematic in all that we do, and we sort of talk in the very beginning and say, hey, help 10 families a month, home and 2 cars, you do about 41,000 your first year. Just try to give you some very simple numbers. Well, who are the people that typically have a home and 2 cars? They're normally married people with kids. Not saying it couldn't be others, but that's probably the gist. Now, the good news in that, you know, married people with kids is a pretty big segment. If we talk about region, this is now where some of the things are going to break apart a little. I shouldn't say break apart, split for you guys a little bit. Again, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, you know, Eric and Sherry and Laura, you guys are in that Space Coast, kind of East Coast, you know, Melbourne area. There's probably going to be a lot of your client base from there. Doesn't mean it could be other areas. It certainly could, but there's probably going to be a lot from there. Jay, you're probably going to be much more here in the Tampa metro area. What I will also tell you is you go back and fill this out again. With this model, guys, I want you to think bigger, broader, and outside of state lines. You guys may have contacts in Illinois. You may say, oh man, you know, I could call my ex, friend, family, this, that, etc. And you can do that. We're creating a model where state lines are becoming less of a barrier. Now, again, that doesn't necessarily mean that the majority may still be where you're at. It could be, hey, I've got a strong client base in Orlando. I've got a key contact in Orlando. And again, I'll share personally. Okay, one of my best referral sources and top clients is a commercial realtor in Orlando. And on average, he probably sends me, let's say, 3 to 5 leads a quarter. And we probably generate, I bet from Tony, anywhere from, let's say, $20,000 to $40,000 a year in revenue. And he's awesome. And we become friends and on and on and on. That's out there, by the way, you know, and really it's like, how did that come about? Well, he got referred to me originally by another realtor or mortgage person, and I helped him out, and we just developed a relationship, and I followed up. I gave him good service, took him to lunch, etc. So I also, I want you to think with the region and geography a little bit. Yes, a lot of it may be based in your area, but don't be bound by that, right? In terms of hobbies and values, again, this kind of gets into the motivation a little bit. And I just always encourage you, think about where you're already plugged in. Eric, you mentioned you have a boat. Okay, I'm going to assume you like to fish. You like to be on the water. Well, hey, guess what? You probably know some other people that have boats and like to fish and be on the water. Okay?
Right.
You know, and again, hear me, you know, I'm a person of faith. And it doesn't mean, you know, go run to church to get business. But I get a lot of business from church. And I don't, you know, give my cards out everywhere. But people just know, you know, I do insurance and they need things, they come to me. So think of where you may already be plugged in, you know, whether that's Rotary or a certain club or sports or gym or church or synagogue or whatever it may be, right? Thinking about some of those things. And then I'd really encourage you, and again, Eric, you know, I'm kind of using you as an analogy a lot because there's so many similarities between our businesses, frankly. But, you know, I'm sure if I asked you over the years, hey, you know, can you think of clients you really liked working with? They were just great people. They were nice, they were fun, they weren't a pain in the neck. Yep. There's probably gonna be some names that pop into your head. And then if I said, hey, Eric, can you think of clients that were just a pain in the ass and that you just really didn't, you kind of wish you didn't have?
Yeah,
we have those.
Yeah, I'm gonna go out and assume you guys have some of those too, right? That's
a few.
Yeah. So I just encourage you guys as you are building this, think about the people you like to work with and think about the values they have and what they embrace and on and on and on. And guys, this is super important and hear me here. Now, again, kind of go back to the core values, do it in a nice way. You can say no to clients. You do not have to help everyone. You have that authority. You may have certain people that for whatever the reason is, it's like, you know what, we may not be the best fit. And I will tell you this, the top performers get good at that. Because there are certain people that you can just see in the beginning are going to be extremely difficult, they're rude, they curse, whatever it may be. The more you're in this business, you learn that, you see that, you know that. And again, I'm going to guess, Eric, you probably kind of get what I'm saying a little bit. So
Absolutely.
I'd really encourage you guys to think about this. The other thing I want to just share real quick on niches, and I'm going to actually pick on my mother-in-law's financial advisor and just give you an example of a niche, right? There's so much application here, guys. And again, you could go deep with boats. You could go deep with families. You could go deep with car dealerships. You could go deep with single family real estate and realtors. There's lots of areas you could really niche out. But just to kind of give you an idea of niche, and this even surrounds gender, follow me here. Now, the application I think really is a little more for financial services, but just follow the thought process here. So my mother-in-law, she lives in Longwood. She got divorced about 10 years ago. Her financial advisor specializes in working with divorced women. That's a very specific niche, right? She's created her practice around working with divorced women. That's not all who she works with, but that's a lot of who she works with, right? Now, again, I'm not telling you to go out and chase divorced women as your target audience for insurance, but I'm just planting that as a seed a little bit and saying, there are all sorts of ways to look at niches and how you may utilize them in building your insurance practice. Does that make sense?
100%.
Yes.
Cool. Awesome. So I want to talk a little bit now. Again, we kind of thought through a little bit of the target client. I kind of shared with you what I feel would be a really good one starting off for personal lines. I kind of, married, probably 25 to 65, could be man, could be woman, probably a couple kids, 50,000 and up, and then talking a little bit about what do they value, probably people that value service a little bit more, in general, nice to work with, et cetera. That's probably a very, very good place to start, okay? And then we also just said, look, you can take that lots of ways and slice and dice that lots of ways. One of the things I really want to share with you now is, well, why us? Here's what I want you guys to think about for a second. And again, you can do very well in this business just because you're going to run enough proposals and you're going to save people money and they're going to say, great, period. Okay, that's kind of where I also like this business. It's very, rinse, wash, repeat in terms of replication, right? And you can get good at that and do fantastic. Again, my heart and hope for you is that you also learn a little bit about sales and marketing and more professionalism, because what that's going to do is it's going to increase your closing rate. It's going to increase your probably satisfaction. It's going to increase your book of business. Okay. So part of where we're always trying to add value for you, and I can't share this enough, guys, we appreciate you coming on. We appreciate you giving this a go. My goal is to add value to you. I tell my team this all the time. My first clients and my VIP clients are this team, whether that's my core team, full W-2 employees, or you guys, the 1099s that are out there just trying to give it a go, saying, you know what, I'm going to eat what I kill, commission only, okay? And really, I mean it. If at any point you have a problem, a challenge, or you're really stuck, or something didn't go right, or one of my team did something, I want to know. I can't fix what I don't know. So that's another good thing that, just know that. But we try to add value for you guys in a lot of ways. But one of them we want to just share now is things you can share with your clients and your prospects to separate you. Because here's the reality. You can swing a dead cat and hit 1,000 insurance agents between here and Melbourne, probably more than that. And a lot of them are going to have the same markets, a lot of them. So it comes down to, well, what are you doing that's different? And again, I want you guys to think from a marketing standpoint. Differences sell. And the more you can differentiate yourself, the better you're going to be in terms of attracting and converting clients, right? And I also want you to think early on, guys, my first goal is for you to have that connection with the client. That's the reality. This is a relationship business. Again, look, just Eric said at the beginning, he's talking to a client saying, hey, I'm going to get a quote from Allstate. Now Eric has an opportunity to say, hey, Jays, yeah, we're expanding our practice. We'd love to help you out. Let me get some info from you. I'll have Laura follow up with you and get some info and see if we can help you out. Great. Okay. So the first point is relationship with you guys. And then frankly, after that is with this agency. And then the last thing is with the carrier. And the reason I say the last thing is with the carrier is because intentionally with us being multi-line and independent, if you go to our website here, somewhere down, you'll see a little scroll of all the different companies we work with, right? Here's this little scroll. People are like, well, what companies do you have? Well, go to our website and give yourself a few minutes. You'll see a lot of companies. And we've got access to over 80 companies. over the years, clients may very well be moved from one company to another. So at the end of the day, you really want clients to think about you and then us. And then frankly, tertiary or thirdly, the company, the actual insurance company, right? In my opinion, that's a good key to building relationships and lasting clientele, okay? So on that note, well, what do we do to be different? On our website right here, we have Why Choose SIS. And this anyone can access. You can save this link, you can send it out, text it out, email it, Facebook it, do whatever. That's why I have it here specifically. And I also have it just as hopefully an easy spot, because again, I know I'm giving you guys a lot of info. You know, they say the average person retains about 60% of what they hear. And you know, and I'm no different. And again, I'm not naive to think you guys may be watching or checking an email or checking a text or whatever. And if you are, that's fine. It's A-okay. And I can't see you, by the way, but I just know, I know, again, I know myself. But so we just try and put it on the website so it's an easy spot for you to go back to. And so we just say, here are things we do to help you make your life easier for insurance, okay? Again, value proposition, value add for the clients, for the prospects. I want to give you 4 things, okay? These are 4 things that you can go with confidence to talk with your clients about. I think the first one's the most important. We have a process to do annual protection reviews and make sure we're being competitive with rates and coverage each year. This is not a set it and forget it model. And if anything, it's very service intensive on the back end because of this. But what we see is a direct correlation with our retention. Our retention is much higher than most agencies. There's a lot of agencies, they just flood the book with new business, new business, new business. There's little to no follow-up. There's little to no interaction with the client. Probably the only time the client hears from the agency is when they get their renewal or get their bill. And think of yourself. You may be very similar. And I'm not saying that badly. That's just kind of how a lot of property and casualty agencies work, right? Again, we try to be different. So one of the things is we have this proactive protection review process. Again, very similar probably a la to a financial advisor. I'm going to guess, Eric, and especially your higher end clientele, you probably meet with them at least once a year, if not more, maybe right. Quarterly, maybe semi-annually, right? And especially,
you know, Doug, the other thing too, I don't know that it comes up very often, but my clients like to know the fact that I'm available and I can be reached 7 days a week if they have a question. So, yeah, you know, sometimes, you know, something comes in the mail Friday afternoon and the client calls you on Saturday morning and they want to talk for a minute. And it's just nice that they know that we're available.
Huge. Love it. And it's going that extra mile. Yeah. And we very much have that same heart. And we try and do that in a variety of ways, Eric. In a variety of ways. So, and we'll talk about that in a second, but so again, just this idea of, and you know, another way to kind of put it, and I even have it on here, you know, put us on board as your insurance quarterback. And the other thing, and I can't encourage this enough, and I can be honest, guys, you know, they always say the teacher learns more than the student. I don't know if you've ever heard that before, the teacher learns more than the student. I do lots of these meetings, and again, I love them, and I hope you see that, you know, the energy and enthusiasm and all that, because I really enjoy sharing and teaching and helping new people, but it helps me. One of the things I've been thinking about recently is kind of going through this. And shame on me if I really think over the years, have I done as good a job as I can planting these seeds up front? Here's where I'm going with it. You want to start planting seeds with your clients up front. We want to be your agency for life. That's a very different conversation than 15% will save you, or 15 minutes will save you 15%, right? You want to plant that seed now. Hey, we want to just not be your client now, just this year, but 10 years from now, 20 years from now. And we've got a model, Mr. Client, to help manage that and make sure you're getting very competitive rates with excellent coverage and excellent service. And as the market and things change, we can adapt to that because we've got over 25 carriers for home and auto insurance, right? That's a different conversation. Now, it takes a little bit of time. It takes a little bit of energy. It takes a little bit of effort. But I promise you, if you do that and you do that consistently, you're going to get some people that are like a little bit of a light bulb is going to go off. And they're going to be like, huh, I really thought about it like that, you know? I never thought about, maybe I have somebody that just helps me manage this stuff year in and year out, and I don't have to think about it a lot. It's a pain in the neck to shop your insurance, even if you're doing it online. It's still not, I'll put it this way, it's not fun, right? It's not like, hey, I can go on the boat today, I can go golf today, or I can shop my insurance again today, right? Just at the best of times, okay? So thinking about that, planting those seeds up front, We do annual protection reviews. We offer them. Not everyone takes us up on it, by the way, which is okay. I want our clients to know that we're looking at it proactively, not reactively. Okay? And then that idea that you're planting the seed, we want to be your clients for life, or we want to be your agency for life, right? We want to be not just today, but years from now. And guys, that's so critical because again, we think about this whole model, frankly, really rises and falls on long-term retention of a client. And I don't mean just my business. I mean just the property and casualty business in general. Now, the good news is I'll tell you this, even the agents that don't do anything that stink, that are really bad, frankly, that give really poor service, they don't answer the phone, they don't get back to clients, about 80% of those clients still renew. They just, they just still renew, okay? But every percent we can increase in our retention, it's exponential in terms of what it does to your revenue, okay? So that's a big one. First point, kind of protection reviews, clients for life. Second one is technology. We've invested a lot in technology to try and make the user experience better, and I'm constantly looking for that. So for example, things like, and this is a big one now, guys, Eric, you kind of mentioned this in a way, and I don't know about you guys, but think about yourself, live chat. So you can go to our website and live chat. And I will tell you, there is a segment, a lot of people like that. I will tell you myself, just thinking about business that I'm doing, it doesn't matter what it is. If I go to a website and I see I can live chat, I'm probably going to do that over picking up the phone and calling. I find it's easier.
That's good.
And I'm kind of in that, I'm not a millennial, I'm a Gen X, I'm kind of the lost generation, whatever you want to say, but I'm, I get all sides of it. I still like meeting people and shaking hands and doing all that, but I want to, what we call a frictionless experience. We want to make that user experience very friendly. So people can live chat. People can text right into the agency. By the way, our main phone number, which is 866, it's right up here, 866-INS, short for insurance, 0123. They can text to that number. We want to make that very easy. We have a policy service center on demand here. So what this is, guys, this is once they become a client, they can enter their email address and any policies they have with us, they can pull right here. They can pull their deck page, they can pull their ID cards, they can get that. So we try to blend this very high touch, like, hey, we're here for you, call us, but also this idea that there's this segment of the population, they want to be able to do it on demand and do it now. And if they can, they have a very good experience and feedback, right? Dedicated claims process. This is another big one. So we really feel we split from the pack with claims. So, when a client has a claim, we take that seriously. I believe, and again, you're hearing it from the owner, that is our opportunity to pay the promise. The only thing people come to us for is basically saying, I'm going to give you some money, Mr. Insurance Company and Mr. Agency, you're going to get a little percent of that because I want to know if bad stuff happens, you're there. That's the reality. Now, most agents do this. If you have a claim and you call the agency and say, hey, I just got into an accident. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. Are you okay? Yes, I'm okay. Who's your carrier? I'm with Progressive. Okay. You can call Progressive at 800, blah, blah, blah. Okay. And then there's little to no follow-up from there. We try to take a very different approach. If we have a claim, we file the claim with the client and for the client. They get a real card that goes out in the mail, like a real card, like a mailed card that goes out in the mail that day. And then we have a follow-up process where our team leaders follow up every 7 to 10 days to check on the status of the claim. So we feel that's very, very important. Again, that's a differentiator. And I will tell you this, people that have had claims that have not been good, you can really leverage that. And even if you're a little more expensive, lean on that because it's no fun to be on an island by yourself. It's no fun to fight the big bad insurance company when you really have no one in your backyard, on your side, if you will, right? And here's the reality, guys. Insurance is the pain in the neck. It really is. I do it every day. And it's not getting better for what it's worth. In some ways, it's getting worse. And I don't mean that they're doing it intentionally, but they're either overwhelmed or their systems aren't as good or COVID slowed them down or it's just, and some are better than others, but to us, it's an area you can add value because you're in that corner. And at the end of the day, that's what most people want to know. That's the reality. They want to know, I got somebody that cares that's willing to help me. And again, I would imagine, Eric, even you, if you think about it, even if the market has a downturn and it goes down a little bit, but the client calls and you're like, hey, here's what we're going to do. Here's our strategy. I got your back, in essence. That's big. Yeah, that's powerful. Right?
Yeah, they like the reassurance and
That's it. That's half of it. I mean, a lot of what you do, frankly, and in the stock market is psychology.
Right.
Protect the people from themselves. No. Now's not the time to sell. Don't cash it all in, right?
Right.
So we talk about the dedicated claims process. And the last thing is that one-stop shop. So we handle all lines of insurance. We have over 75 companies. That's when you throw in life and health. Now, again, I know some of you guys do life and health. That's fine. If you want to continue to do that, that's A-okay. If you want to access and plug in any of our markets and have our team help with that, that's A-okay too, right? And that can even be, well, you come across a client who needs group health insurance. Well, we do group health insurance, right? So we've got that kind of one-stop shop mindset. And really, if you were to ask me, going back to that marketing and saying, Doug, who's your ideal client? My ideal client is a small business owner that owns his own building, his or her own building, has at least 10 employees and values a trusted advisor, because I can help them with everything. And some of my best clients, we do. We help them with all their business insurance, all their commercial insurance, all their personal insurance, all their life and health. That's an ideal client, right? So again, guys, if we think 4 things you guys can do, right? Those are 4 things you guys can share. So we're going to kind of move past the life cycle marketing now. Again, we kind of talked a little bit about, sort of ideal client. How do they think? What do they like? What does that look like? And then we shared with you 4 things that you can offer, again, to kind of add value. And now we're really going to wrap up the last, let's say, 15 minutes here. We're going to go through this life cycle marketing plan, right? So what I found, and I used to stop the meeting here. This kind of used to be my stopping point. I was like, okay, great. Hopefully you're excited, motivated, go get them, charge the field. But we still found clients who are our new team members like, well, Doug, what do I do now? Like, what can I do now to get business? I put this together probably 6 months ago, and just really trying to think through things we've done to become successful and trying to put it all in one document and say, here are 30 ideas, 30 different marketing ideas to help you get business. Okay. And again, hear me, you can pick a handful of these and build your whole career. I've got some team members that do it. There's some team members that they've gotten really good at networking, and that's what they do. And that all their business comes from networking. That's it. They're not doing a lot of other stuff. They're not cold calling. They're not on social media a ton. They've gotten really good at that. We've got other team members. They get a lot of business off of social media. They've gotten very good at being on social media and getting business, right? So again, we're trying to give you a handful of ideas that hopefully some of them will resonate with you. The other thing that we do, guys, is we say, look, I want to get you off to a fast start, because I know it's important to build momentum. If you don't build some momentum, it's not going to work. That's the reality. That's true of a lot of things in life, right? You can be excited now. It's great. Doug's excited, blah, blah. You can help people. I can make some money, blah, blah, blah. But here's what I know. If you get licensed and you don't do anything, after about 30, 45 days, you're going to say, well, what am I doing? Why? What's this $79 a month thing I see on my credit card? Oh, that's right. That agency support. Oh, yeah, that Doug guy. It's just, you're not going to take off if you will, right? So my whole goal is to help you get some momentum, help put some dollars in your pocket, get you someone to be like, oh, wow, yeah, this works. I'm making a little bit of money. I'm helping some people. This is cool. Okay. So on that note, I also throw out a $500 bonus in the first 30 days. And hear me, this is from the point you're licensed. I know you guys are going through licensing right now. So the clock's not technically ticking. By the way, and we'll talk in a second, you can still earn and start prospecting through your licensing, and we will bank any of the clients and or commission dollars coming your way. Eric and Laura, we've already talked about this a little bit. You guys just switched your own policy over. Great. As soon as you get licensed, you're gonna get paid on, okay?
Hey, Doug, there's one other question, because I have my homeowner's policy. I guess I'm paying it quarterly.
Yeah.
So should I switch it over to you guys now?
Yeah, I mean, really what we also want to do, guys, in each situation is also say we want to do a market comparison, because we don't want to assume you've got the best rate right now. And you'll learn a lot through that. So we'll talk more about that. But what I'm sharing here is first 30 days, if you run 50 proposals and you write 5 policies, I give you a $500 bonus. And guys, here's what I'll tell you. If you run 50 proposals,
you're going to write a lot more than 5.
You're going to stumble across 5 people who are going to say yes. Okay. So again, just a little way to kind of give you a little extra bonus, get you rolling. So in terms of ideas to get you rolling, run your own insurance. We just kind of talk about it a little bit. And again, no, this is not like, hey, you got to buy your own insurance to work here. You signed up for Mary Kay and you got to buy $500 worth of product and buy, all this. It's not that. But what it is it's a great place to start, because there's nothing better than running and understanding it when it's you. It's a little different when it's you. It's one thing when you're talking to another person, but then it's like you're running. It's like, oh, no, this is mine. Now I really kind of care, right? And if it makes sense and you're able to save some money or you're close, and get paid on it, do it. No brainer. And if not, if it's off, then it's off. Then don't switch. But that's a great place to start. You'll learn a lot. Probably one of the biggest ones, guys, I share is our gift card challenge. And Eric, we may have talked about this a little bit, but for Jay and for Laura and Sherry. So really what we've just done with this, guys, is we've said, look, and this is, again, right on our website, and we've got right under insurance services, it's Amazon gift card. And I've kind of changed numbers. I tweak it from time to time. I kind of bumped it up the last few months because of COVID and a lot of people going through a tough time. I may change it down the road. But just the whole idea is this, is we're saying, hey, you're paying too much for insurance. They're going to save on costs. Guess what? Everybody wants to do that. And almost any commercial you hear where insurance related is we're going to save you money, right? I don't care if it's Progressive. I don't care if it's State Farm or Allstate or Liberty Mutual or Geico or whomever. That's a big hook, and it's a good hook, right? Because people are always looking to save money.
Yep.
So we basically say, look, hey, we want an opportunity to review your home and auto insurance, and for that, we'll give you a $27 gift card. Simple as that, right? So it's one more incentive for them to do it. And again, guys, this is money that I pay. This is not coming out of your pocket. This is coming out of the agency pocket. And then what I do with it is, and this is really to protect you, if you will, and give you good at-bats. What I'm calling good at-bats is I say, look, we're happy to give you the gift card, but we need to get a copy of your current deck page because I want to make sure we're quoting apples to apples. If you talk to a client and they're like, yeah, I think I pay about $200 a month with Geico, but you don't see what the coverages are and you're coming in at $300 a month, you follow me?
Yep.
And they're saying, yeah, I've got 5,100, but maybe they really only have 1020, you follow? So we're just saying we want to get a copy of that deck page. Most people are happy to do that. So it's an easy one. It's a great way to promote. You can put that on Facebook. You can put it on text, on emails. You can just talk to clients about it. And again, who doesn't want a gift card to Amazon? I joke, Amazon's like another form of currency. That's why we do it. I don't know about you guys, but you know, pretty much every day boxes that show up at my house between what my wife buys and, you know, for the kids and some of the stuff I buy. It's an easy way to do it, okay? So that's a really good one. It can apply in a whole lot of areas in terms of that. Networking and leads groups. Again, we talked a lot of success that we've seen here. I'd encourage you guys on a few things. And I realize, you know, some of you are not doing this full time. Okay, so here's the disclaimer. Some of these groups may not let you in if you're not doing it full time. Some may. I guarantee you, if you Google networking groups, Melbourne or Space Coast or your area, frankly, it could be anywhere, you know, networking groups, Schaumburg, Illinois, you're going to see stuff. They're all over the place. Okay. And it's a great way to start networking with other local professionals. And traditionally, these are groups where there's one person per profession. There's the realtor, there's the financial advisor, there's the mortgage broker, there's the plumber, the electrician, the candlestick maker, all this stuff. Guys, I can tell you, I started these groups from the time I started my agency. Probably some of the most business we've ever gotten is through those. And I've been in dedicated groups for 5 years. I'm not in them anymore now, but every one of our full-time sales members is. And in my opinion, if you do want to do it full-time at any point, it's critical to look to get into one of these because it's still a great way to get business and build relationships, especially with centers of influence. If you don't have the time to do a full-time networking group, I would at least look for a meetup group. And there's meetup groups all over. And I would probably look for one that specializes in real estate. They don't cost anything, you know, and just why would I do one in real estate? Because people who have real estate need insurance, right? That's an easy one. And I will also tell you in the world that we live in now with COVID, you know, traditionally these were groups that would meet in person. And again, when we talk levels of communication, right? There's no doubt, and I like you guys can at least see me. I can't see you, and again, I'm okay with that. If we were all in person, it would be better. Like in general, if we talk communication, person to person, in person best, you know, okay, maybe we make the case after that, this kind of digital or video, less or least to just email, just text. Where I'm going with it, a lot of these groups do have opportunities to do it online now because of COVID. But I would definitely be checking those out. Excuse me, we have software called Call X Dates. This is already included in your package. Your $79 a month support fee, guys. Frankly, a lot of what that goes to is all the different software and programs we have. The idea of X Dates is one where we basically say insurance has a lot of predictability in it. And most times there's a lot of public records that surround it. And so you can go log into that and you can put in a zip code, a neighborhood, an area, and say, I want to see people whose homeowner renews in let's say July or August, or their autos renew in July or August. Now, hear me, these are not people that are expecting your call necessarily or your contact. So yes, it takes a little more work. And then you say, well, what would I do with it from there, Doug? Well, you could offer the $27 Amazon gift card. Hey, we show your insurance is coming up for renewal. We'd love an opportunity to help you out, see if we can save you some money. We've got a great thing going right now, our gift card program. And you can get phone numbers, you can get emails, you can get a lot of stuff and scrub through the do not call list and on and on and on. Again, it takes a little elbow grease. It takes a little effort. But that's definitely an area you can get some business. And we've had a lot of agents that have started and gotten business when they've started doing that. Florida Market Assistance Plan. These are free homeowners leads. And you have to have your license to do it. So don't log into this one today. Call X dates you could look at right away. FMAP, you literally need your license number. But this is through the state of Florida, through Citizens, where they're basically saying, I don't want Citizens, I need help finding homeowners insurance. And you get their phone, email, name, address, all of it. And again, you can specify, I want homes 250,000 and higher. I want, at least 3 bad. I mean, you can slice and dice lots of ways. Now, anyone in the state of Florida has access to this. That's a licensed agent. But it's like anything. It's depending on, the effort you put in, contacting them first, following up, being persistent. Again, I will tell you personally, I have written business from that. It works. And it's free. I mean, that's not a bad deal. And homeowners is a great lead into all the other lines of the house, we believe. That can be a great lead into the auto, life insurance, health, other areas, okay? Realtor pitch sessions, a lot of areas have these. Again, these are kind of in person where realtors get together and pitch property. Your own raving fans, guys. This is a really good place to start. And we're going to talk a little bit at the end. Yes, you know what? You can make the list of your friends and family and neighbors and all that. And you can say, hey, I'm getting in the insurance business. I love an opportunity to help you out. Great. Okay. Some people like that and do very well. Some people are like, yeah, you know what? I really don't want to talk to mom about the insurance or my sister or my brother. Okay, that's fine. What I would encourage you to do is think about people you already know that may be what we call centers of influence, right? Realtors, mortgage brokers, bankers, financial advisors, attorneys, CPAs that you already know that are already influencers. This is huge. Guys, I can't share enough. And the reality is you don't need a ton of them. You need a handful that become what we call your raving fans. They know you, they trust you, they like you, and they send you business. It's a beautiful thing. And we have a gift card program that we can reward them with a gift card, $25. We also even have a model that we've developed something called our professional sellers program. And our professional sellers program, guys, is kind of an extension on what we're doing here. And this, again, it's on our website. It's actually under careers. We're basically saying, look, you're a financial advisor, CPA, this, that. We'll show you how to get licensed, and just for the referral, we'll give you 15% new, 7% renewal. Again, hear me, they have to be licensed. Now, obviously, you guys are choosing, you're getting your license, you're doing the login, the full deal, and you're going to earn a lot more. But for people who are like, I don't want to do all that, but okay, great, I'll get my license and know I can refer you and make a little money on that. It's a great avenue. And again, I would say, Eric, for you guys, I'm going to go out on a limb and say you probably know other financial advisors and people in your business that at the very least you could say, hey, you ever have clients that need help with their home and auto and et cetera? Here's what we're doing now. We can be a resource. So instead of thinking them as an enemy or competition, there may be ways you can work together. That next talks on this next point here of networking with captive agents. Again, you want a great one? And for those of you that are okay and like meeting people and okay to kind of go out and like that, like I'm a people person. I like that. I'd rather be meeting with people than being online and banging on a keyboard all day, right? And there's some people that do both, okay? But where I'm going with captive agents, so captive agents are State Farm, Allstate. They only can write State Farm and Allstate auto at the very least. Hear me, okay? At the very most, I should say. And a lot of times they can't write much on the homeowners. So the idea is you go and you network with them, their team, their CSRs, their service people, and say, hey, what do you do when you have someone who you can't help with the auto insurance, right? So someone calls State Farm, they've had 3 accidents, State Farm won't write them. Or same thing with Allstate. I'd love to be that referral partner for you, right? Great way to get business, guys. You know, and a concept could be, hey, I'm going to pick a 5-mile radius of my area, of my home. I'm going to look for some State Farm agents. I'm going to look for some Allstate agents. I'm going to pick a day. I'm going to go out. Again, you know, Sherry and Laura, you guys are already kind of a team. I always recommend you can go into it. Makes it a lot more fun. You know, get some goodies, some brownies, some fruit, some whatever. Once you have your business cards, and go. And a lot of times some of these people are dying to meet people, frankly. And if anything, I think it's even gotten worse because there's not a lot of people coming in the office anymore. And a lot of times you can build really, really good relationships there. By the way, my State Farm agent that I started at 13 years ago to this day refers this business. We wrote one of the Tampa Bay Lightning hockey players 2 months ago off a referral from them. It's huge. And the last thing I'd comment on that is don't talk to me or the equivalent of me. Frankly, you don't want to talk to the quote unquote State Farm agent. The quote unquote State Farm agent normally is not as plugged in as, you know, Sally CSR, the frontline service people that are getting the calls and doing the work. Those are the people you really want to market and network with. And again, we've got a gift card program where we can give them a gift card for the referrals. And that's also on our website, guys. Their gift card program. We have referral program right here. Okay, where we just highlight that. And this is the most we can do through the state. State says you can do up to $25. Great. No license, nothing. It's just saying, hey, for the opportunity to get that referral, we'll give you a $25 gift card. Okay, and again, that's something I'm willing to pay for. You know, look where you're already spending your money. This is a big one. Some of the best advice when I ever got started in sales is, you know, keep your business cards with you and look where, you know, follow your own dollars because everybody needs it. It can be the dry cleaner. It can be whomever. I've got some word tracks here for referrals, guys. You want to get really good and get a lot of business and not have to do as much, get really good at asking referrals. Again, Eric, been in the business a while. You probably remember, you know, there's the Northwestern Mutual was famous for kind of the 3-card system and some of these things where it was just like every client you met with, you would send a thank you card and you would basically say, you know, I'm looking to build my business with other great people like yourself. Who else can you think of? Friend, family, neighbor, coworker that may benefit from an insurance review. If you do that and do that consistently, that's the key word, you're going to get some people that are going to say, oh, you know what? This may be perfect for my sister. This may be perfect for my brother. I know he's always complaining about his insurance, or he just had a claim and it didn't go good or whatever, right? That's big. And then I even have a word track, even if you don't get their business, right? You know, we kind of segue into saying, hey, we're going to give you the Amazon gift card. We're going to follow up in a period of time. And oh, by the way, who else do you know? Really, really good. And the word tracks are right here. We try and make it stupid simple right here on that. If you want to buy leads, you can. Don't recommend it. Not a place I'd really start. But you can buy leads. They're out there, and through this website, you can get some discounts, okay? Facebook and social media. Again, we talked about this a little bit. I'll give you a very easy one, an easy way to get started. And that's follow us on Facebook, okay? So, you know, on Facebook, we have our users group, okay, which is, you know, our core group. Hopefully you guys are all in there now, where we post trainings and meetings. Like here's Leanne talking about her meeting at 2:00 today. And, you know, different people are posting motivational things. You can ask questions, you know, blah, 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 blah. Okay, all this was my meeting from Monday posted. I'm not talking about this one. I'm talking about if you go onto Facebook and you search strategic insurance, we have a business page. It's going to be this one with a little sign in front of our office. And I have a digital marketing company that does a lot of marketing for me automatically. And what I would do is I would go on here, I would like us and follow us. And here's why. Every day there's posts that go out. Every day. And they're not all about insurance. Some of it is, some of it's not. You know, okay, what happens if you don't have health insurance? I'm young and healthy. Do I need life insurance? You know, all kinds of stuff here. Okay? And here's the idea, guys. You follow us, you have an easy way to repost info that you just start to raise the awareness of what you're doing. And I will tell you, some of the best team members we have, and Brianna is very good at this, and if you wanted more info, the training we did with our monthly sales team last month, we had Brianna and Kayla who shared a lot about social media marketing. And it was excellent. And by the way, that's on our other page, our you know, kind of our little tribe page, community page, if you will. You can go and find that training that they did and talked about what they do and how they do it and how they engage. But again, it's like anything else. There's got to be some intentionality behind it. So I would definitely say if you want an easy place to start, it could be following us, and it could be looking to repost things, raising that awareness from your people that see you online. And then you could always put in there, hey, $27 Amazon gift card challenge, you know, some of these other things. That's definitely another really, really good place to go and start. Real estate and mortgages, again, same concept is kind of back here with the captives, right? They're great centers of influence, and that could be going to their office, dropping off goodies, saying, hey, you know, who do you currently use for insurance? What do you do? Do you have a good insurance contact? Don't assume they do. We'd love to be that resource for you. And if you were to bullet point or kind of, how do I put it? If you were to sort of rank them, I would pick mortgage over real estate. And here's why. Every mortgage person on every deal, whether it's a new business or refinance, needs insurance to close. If I'm a realtor, traditionally, it's only the buy side realtor that's going to care about the insurance, not the sales side. But again, realtors can be great as well. I've got a link here to Market Splash, which has got a lot of some of the ideas I'm sharing here came from this. This is an insurance marketing newsletter that you can sign up for. We talk about boat, motorcycles, and RVs. Again, these are great. Engaging with people you already know that have these. Because guess what? People typically that have boat, motorcycles, and RVs need everything else. They normally have a home and they normally have some cars. You're not going to make a ton on the boat and RV or motorcycle because they're not very expensive items, frankly, insurance-wise. But they need everything else. And then the same thing with the dealerships. You know, I talked to my Progressive rep yesterday, and we were just kind of kicking around marketing ideas. And you know, there's some agencies, especially here in Florida, they really specialize in boat insurance. They do a lot of boat insurance. I'm like, you know, Adam, what, just from a best practices, what do they do? And you know, again, I'm like, is it a lot of networking with boat brokers and boat dealers and boat finance? And he's like, you got it. That's what they do. There's no magic to it. It's the intentionality behind it, right? Kind of talk about alumni groups or groups you may already be involved in, out-of-state contacts, again, people in other states. And then again, to really kind of tee this off, and I promise you guys, and I know we're a few minutes over, we're gonna wrap up in the next 5 minutes, and I appreciate your time, because I know I do, you know, the lion's share of the talking, but it's an hour and a half here, we're almost done. But to really kind of tee this off and say, hey, you know, the very next steps, what would that look like? So again, if we kind of go through, you know, we went over welcome and overview, we talked about SMART goals, the importance there, we went through our core values and discussed that. We went into our life cycle marketing, kind of our ideal client, the value you can add to your clients, why, in essence, us. Then we went through that fast start marketing plan. And then really the last thing, and I'm going to remember or reiterate to you, is that the first 90 days we advance commissions weekly. Again, this is big, and this doesn't necessarily start until you're fully licensed, so hear me there. But what I'll also say, you can start to prospect, network, build leads right now and work with Leanne directly. And anything that you close now will get coded and you will get your full commission once licensed. So I also encourage you, you know, don't sort of, depending on how you look at it, maybe not sandbag at all for that $500 bonus. Some people do that. I get that. Okay. Certainly not naive to that, but just again, that idea you can certainly get rolling now. And it's a great way to learn because you can basically bring the lead, bring the client, work together with Leanne. She's the one that's licensed. You learn the process. You'll learn a lot through the training and still get commissions once it's all paid out, or once you're licensed. Once you have your license, the first 90 days, every week we advance commissions. And so what does that mean? That basically says, hey, anything you wrote last week or up until Wednesday at 12 o'clock, that's our cutoff, we will pay in advance that Friday. Because I don't get paid for about 30 to 45 days, but I in essence float that to you. And then we balance out your account once a month when the commissions come in. It's a great way to get some money in your pocket each week, right? We've got a lot of people that take advantage of that, okay? The last thing, and then we'll talk about the memory jogger, is just going to encourage you, hopefully you really heard it as well, is just remember to be intentional and take action. You know, I'm here to help you. We are here to help you, but you got to take responsibility for your own results, period. You know, that's it. That's part of life, right? Like you've got to take that responsibility. It's going to rise and fall on you and what you do, right? We're trying to provide you the structure, the systems, the support, the training, right? Kind of look at it like this. We've got all those of you that are gardeners. I'm not a gardener, so forgive me, but you know, the soil's right, the lighting's right, the watering's right, you know, all this kind of stuff, but you have to do it. You have to plant the seed, if you will, okay? And I hope you feel empowered by that, because to me, the best opportunities don't rely on someone else, they rely on me. That's what I like about my business, that I'm self-employed and a business owner, is, you know, it rises and falls on me. So I really hope you remember that and take that to action, or take that to heart. The last thing we're going to go over is the memory jogger. And again, all these things are going to come in your follow-up email. So in essence, and some of you may have heard of this before. Again, Eric, I know you've been in the, you know, financial services insurance business for a while. You're going to get this PDF, which kind of explains it. Now, hear me, guys. It's written by a network marketing guy, like a multi-level marketing. Okay, so hear me. I'm not using it for that, but a lot of the concepts are great and apply to building a sales business in essence. So a lot of things in life, I say, you know, eat the meat, spit out the bones. But really, when you go from page 6 and down, it's just going to give you a list of people to think through that you may not even be thinking about, but that know, right? It's going to help you build that list. And know, again, frankly, the smallest part is, okay, your friends and family. But then it's, you know, here's an interesting one. I don't know if you play fantasy football, Eric. I do. You know, who's in your fantasy football league? Right? Who do you fish with? Who's your chiropractor? You fill in the blank, because they all need insurance. Okay, that's the reality. And so this is a very extensive list. I will tell you this, if you take it seriously and think through it, you're going to come up with a lot of people. The average person still knows anywhere from 100 to 250 people. That's the reality. Now take Facebook out. I've got 2,200 friends on Facebook. I don't know all of them. You know what I mean? So I'm not saying that. But at the core, when you think about it, the average person still knows about 100 to 250 people, okay? Walks you through other states, all kinds of stuff. So that kind of gives you the overview. And then we actually give you an Excel spreadsheet to start working through. And I'm going to pull this over here. And if I say like the very next point, and if you wanted to even work on some of this today and build some momentum, maybe go grab lunch, digest this, say, whoo, you know, that's a lot of info. And then maybe later today work on this. You'll probably feel good because you continue to build that momentum. I promise you, the longer this goes and sits, the less likely you are to do it. That's just life. That's just how it works. This memory jogger basically says, look, here's the name. If you don't want to put the address, that's fine. Email, phone, and any info on them. Hear me, guys. These are your leads, your people. We don't do anything with it. All we do is say, we want you to assemble it, put it together. Okay, we encourage you to do at least 25. And then we can talk through, well, what does the marketing look like there? What does the approach look like? Do you want to mail them a letter? By the way, great idea. We didn't really talk about direct mail. Direct mail can be very effective still. Frankly, I think direct mail, if anything, is a great opportunity because people are getting less and less mail. That's the reality, right? You know, you want to actually take the time to put together a letter. Hey, you know, it hasn't been a while since I talked to you. I'm in the insurance business now. I'd love to help you out. Here's my gift card challenge, blah, blah, blah. And again, we've got some scripts and things to help you with that. You could do that. You could email them. You could text them. You could call them. There's lots of things you could do, okay? And it will come from you. We don't touch this without you. So just to know that. But it's that starting point of how do I get going, right? That's the reality. And the other thing that it can be, guys, in terms of additionally not just people that you think you have an opportunity to help review their home and auto, but it can also be great from a center of influence standpoint. Like when we talked through in our marketing, our fast start plan, and we said, hey, you know, great place to start, center of influences, realtors, mortgage brokers, et cetera. I'd put some of them down on there. And then, you know, we'll think through with you. I'm here to help you. I love John Maxwell says, I'm John, I'm your friend. I'm Doug, I'm your friend, right? You know, I'm here to help think through, and I love the marketing side of what we do. Not like what we do, but just in general marketing of what does that look like? You know, maybe you have 3 or 4 centers of influence, and maybe it's, hey, you know, we approach them. When I say I'm coaching you on how to do it, and you approach them to go grab coffee, right? That's a big thing, right? And before all the COVID stuff, I get it's kind of weird, a little weird with COVID, but I don't know. And I'm just going to go out on a limb because most people like coffee, but you know, that's a big one. Well, let's go grab a coffee. Of course, you could grab lunch, breakfast, no matter what. Or it could be doing a Zoom meeting. But that is really what I would say your very next place to start is really putting all that info down here and it's going to be a good jumping off point. So guys, we're about an hour and 40 minutes. I want to make sure I'm leaving just a few minutes. Any questions on any of this? You still with me?
I'm still here.
Okay.
I'm sure as we get questions, we'll call you.
Absolutely. We're here to help. Any feedback, guys? What did you think of this? Was this helpful?
Extremely helpful.
Okay. Okay. All right. Jay, any questions, feedback?
No, I'm just eager and I'm looking forward to starting and getting insured, getting my license.
Awesome. Sounds great, guys. Well, again, give us a few hours, if not later today, by tomorrow, Brianna will send you guys a follow-up email with, again, a copy of the meeting, the recording. I would really encourage you guys to go back and listen to it at some point. And it could be you're at the gym, you're walking the dog, you're making dinner, you're doing whatever, having it in the background. And you can skip around. Maybe you like some of it more than others. Maybe you're like, oh, what was he saying about the Center of Influence Marketing and some of that? I would really encourage you to kind of go back to some of that. And then again, I'd really encourage you to, you know, work on your goals and your memory jogger. So, and Brianna will put that in email. We've got kind of a little gift or a little incentive on that. You'll see that in the email. Again, our next training, I know it's been a lot. If any of you wanted 2 o'clock today, Leanne's doing live proposal training. And then after that will be Monday at 10:30. So you're more than welcome. We'd love to see you on there. You'll also be getting a series of other welcome emails, guys. So you're going to be getting more communication and contact from us. And again, guys, if we can help you in any way, please reach out. And we look forward to hopefully you guys getting off to great starts. Sound good?
Thank you, Doug.
Thank you.
That being said, guys,
Thank you.
have a great day. Take care. We'll talk to you later. See you guys.